Hi, welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights and Tarot. With me, I'm Scott. So about a week or so ago, I set out to try to do a live video where I shared with you Owen Benjamin's gradual coming to terms with the fact that the Earth is not a spinning ball. So this is a trigger warning for you globers out there, people who just cannot let go of the idea that the Earth is not a spinning globe, 25,000 miles in circumference. That's impossible. Okay, that's just not possible. Is it flat? I don't know. It appears to be that way. Everything my senses tell me is that. Now, could it be that the Earth is much bigger? Excuse me, got an inch. In other words, this part that we think of as the globe isn't all of it. But imagine that the Earth is much bigger than the 25,000 miles in circumference, perhaps millions of miles, and that the Earth is more like in a crater, much like this dimple is right here. And that all of this that we think of the Earth is actually in just one little small area. And that's why it appears to be flat, right? And it's definitely not moving. It's not spinning. It's not whirling around. So anyways, I was amazed watching Owen Benjamin coming to this realization. This is about 3.5 years ago, maybe 4. I was in Vietnam at the time, and I had already come to the realization the Earth was not a spinning ball a long time ago, thanks to the help of Eric Dubay and the work that he did, which I got to meet him, got his book, he signed it for me. By the way, this was a sign to me from the universe that I was to be learning about flat Earth and sharing it with people. Because what are the odds that Eric Dubay and I would end up in the same part of the world about the same time? I came to Thailand just a couple of years before him. And then that he lives just an hour away from me. Those were not coincidences. This was signs that flat Earth is important and I should talk about it. In fact, that was the reason why I started this channel to begin with. It had a different name. But anyways, I'm going to get right to it. I've queued up some videos that I want to share with you. Or it's one video, but it's a long video. As you can see, it's almost 3 hours, but I've distilled it down into what I think are the most important parts that I want to share with you. Okay. So this, for me, was the first thing I figured out, that we never went to the moon. Anyways, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let Owen Benjamin share this treatise that he wrote, and it's very moving. It's incredibly well thought out and written. Owen Benjamin claims to have a IQ of 150, and I don't know if that's true. I've heard people say that it's impossible to gauge IQ beyond, say, 135 or so. My IQ came up as, I think it was the last one I took was, anyways, I recognize intelligence when I see it, and this guy's highly intelligent. Anyways, let's listen to Owen Benjamin.
Hi, I wanted to read you guys something that I wrote out, and it's kind of emotional, and I didn't want to miss any points, but it's called Why I Fight. And if you like it, send it to someone, spread the word. All right. All right. I was exposed to sexual depravity as a child. I've never talked about it publicly, and I'm not going to anymore. In fact, it's kind of weird when people want details about stuff like that. It doesn't define who I am, and it's just something you have to know to understand the bigger picture of who I am and what I'm trying to people and why. I'm not a victim, and I come from a loving family with a hardworking father and a mother who did everything to protect her kids. And I don't even want to say this out loud and on video because it would make her sad. Fault at all. But we live in a fallen world. And I don't say I was abused because life itself is full of abuse. Life is abuse. So that doesn't differentiate anything. Leaving your house, you will be abused by the weather. And the most corrosive, abusive force on the planet is time itself. I know what monsters look like and how they act. That's why I just shared that piece of personal information with you. I know how they seek positions of unquestioned authority, how they live in the upside down world that we are now seeing more and more of. A world where lies are truth, apologies are submission is an apology, questions are tyranny, curiosity, unscientific, destruction is progress, progress is destruction, tradition is slavery, and love, of course, is oppression. Becoming a father myself and feeling that ancient drive to protect, while at the same time this rise in the open and accepted sexual abuse of children, disguised as tolerance, sent me on nothing short of a war path. I've been fighting a full-blown, all-out war for 2 years now, and I won't stop even after I'm dead. That's why we write words to paper. That's why we make videos. It's because death doesn't stop our ability to fight. There are many casualties of this war. Career opportunities, friends, alienation of family members. But I'm never going to stop, even after I'm dead. So why have I been relentlessly chipping away at the ending story? I've been asked this a lot lately, and that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is because I want to make it completely and unquestionably true why I'm doing it, at least. Because I saw Bill Nye on his show, Bill Nye Saves the World. He said that a 2-year-old can now choose their gender, and it is science, and it is peer-reviewed, and everyone's wearing a lab coat, and it is, of course, factual.
You're starting to figure out why it's important what the shape of the earth is?
I saw a flash of a monster that I haven't seen in many, many years. I saw it clear as day. And when I saw parents break their ancient protection instincts and serve their own children to this new idea of gender fluid infants, it reminded me of the stories of Aztec sacrifice. I always wondered how people could do that. How they could offer up their children to the great pyramid. I know science well, and I've always loved it.
Me too.
And one scientific experiment was the Milgram experiment, proving the human submission to authority.
Yep.
And in this moment, I saw a new science, a science not based in fact, but in the occult, in ritual, and pain, and death, and in abuse. The monsters seek authority. The Aztec priest ripping out the heart of a baby and eating it, the top of that pyramid. As the indoctrinated masses say, praise, praise be to the one who saves us. And that's the thing about monsters, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing about evil. And I know evil. Evil makes you love him as he takes everything from you. I'm a Christian, and I believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, but that is my faith, and I could not prove it. That is what.
You hear that? It's faith. I don't believe in the Jesus story. If you do, that's fine. But admit it's on faith. You have no evidence.
My logic is consistent. logic is sound. My science is good. Faith lives in the soul and in a spiritual world that cannot be put in beakers. It doesn't wear lab coats, nor should it. But this new religion of science,
Yes.
just like what all monsters do, claims the opposite of what it is. It mimics.
Yes.
It says it isn't a religion at all. It is a fact. Yeah, this is not easy for me to read. This is, I have a rage response to some of this stuff. For 2 years now, I've cut off the heads of thousands of the cultural hydra. Meme after meme, show after show. I point out what they're doing. I speak it. People agree, they support me, or they hate me, they try to ruin me, but it's done nothing. The Hydra just keeps popping up new heads because I wasn't attacking the heart of the monster properly. I wasn't showing the new cult of science for what it actually is. And these aren't your saviors. These aren't your priests. These are monsters. And I'm fighting to win.
The same ones of you who get triggered, like Canada, oh Canada, one of the viewers who rage quit from my channel, which fine. If you are so brainwashed that you just cannot get past the globe Earth, you shouldn't be on this channel. Okay, I'm going to be frank with you.
It started with the moon landing. One event that I can prove without any reasonable logical doubt it was faked and why it was faked. NASA says it has destroyed the technology and it cannot be rebuilt, just like Joseph Smith and his seer stones. The lack of voltage.
I just remember what I was going to say. The same ones of you out there who are saying, "Oh, don't give me this flat Earth bullshit," you know, the science has proved it. You're the same ones who are saying the same scientists, the same mainstream science that says that there's a deadly V word that's created a pandemic that's taken away all your rights. Those are the same scientists who tell you the Earth is a spinning globe. Okay, so you believe that, but you don't believe the other. You cherry pick.
Alone in the extreme temperature fluctuation of upwards of 600 degrees Celsius at 290,000 miles away would make TV transmission impossible with any electricity, especially through the 60,000 kilometer Van Allen belt, which is basically a giant nuclear explosion. No one has ever gone back despite people's never-ending desire to explore our solar system. No other country has attempted to plant their flag on the moon next to ours, which contradicts the very nature of countries, corporations, and of course, humankind itself. People still Greenland, but not the moon, despite $24 billion a year in funding. But in 1969, with less tech than a cell phone, they did it and played a round of golf on that moon. That is a lie. This is a religion. If you accept Neil Armstrong as your personal savior without any proof, you are in. And most people don't know it. They think it's fact. They don't see it because they don't understand the nature of monsters. Pedophilia isn't about sex. It's about control. Continuing the cycle so you don't have to.
See how? Sorry, I get emotional. See how he connects? The those people, those children abusers are, anyways, I get it.
Face the reality that this world is fallen and broken and full of snakes, and it's exhausting and it hurts, and it's a never-ending war to spot out and kill the snakes that want to eat your kids. I get why people ignore this stuff. It's tiring. When you have to face what happened to you and what happens to people, it hurts horribly bad. I understand moral relativity. I know why people do it. I don't. If you tell me that you understand, if you understand, if you accept science as your savior, that you have faith in science, and it is not based in fact. If you tell me you understand that the food pyramid hairspray, ozone layer, gender neutral science in the lab coat of the priest. If you understand that that's faith, you at least know you're in a cult, which is half the battle. It's a very important part of the battle. If you know you're in a cult, you're self-aware that you're in a materialistic, fallen cult.
If you're a glow believer,
good for you.
You're in
just
that
please
cult.
Protect your children, because that's all we got. Becoming a father has changed me in very, very profound and deep spiritual ways, all for the good. If we can't protect our kids, what's our point? Kids are hope. Kids are the future. Kids are all we got. And if you sacrifice your children on this new altar, you're pathetic. You're a coward. Snakes will eat you. They come for everybody. They have no allies. Snakes have no friends. They're cold-blooded. They seek warmth. And they'll suck your blood dry. Trust me, I know snakes. I know snakes. We never went to the moon. We never went to the moon. We never went to the moon. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I rip this whole thing down and they stop fucking with kids.
And talk about the things that interested us most, in particular the things that occurred on and about the moon.
I was gonna stop it there. I didn't plan to play this, but this is the three guys right after they came back from the first moon landing. They look depressed. They look like it's just ridiculous. Okay, so I got this other one queued up. I wanted you to see.
Listening to John Lennon's Imagine, one of the worst songs ever made. Like, it's brilliant wizardry, but it's truly horrifying. Imagine there's no heaven, no hell below us, and imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Below us, but above us only sky, right? So, just like when I stopped watching porn and I replaced it with conspiracy videos, right? The way things work, the way humans work, the way consciousness works, the way everything works, is you have to replace things with things. So we are a people that looks up to God and we pray. We look up and we can't believe the majesty of the clouds, and we think about heaven and just the enormity and the beauty of it. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. So we took the concept of looking up and seeing God, and we don't see God up anymore. We see empty space coupled with infinite possibilities. It's the ultimate wizard spell.
Nihilism.
Because
it's nihilism.
Isaac Asimov, and according to Vox Day, his son is like one of the worst pedophiles in history. A lot of these sci-fi guys are fucking awful human beings, by the way. So you have all these wizards, these high-level wizards, and they'll phrase it in ways that'll blow your fucking mind. Where they're like, this blew my mind when someone said that there's more galaxies in the universe than grains of sand on all the beaches in the world. So you think a galaxy is full of solar systems that are full of planets. I mean, even if you have a bunch of planets with nothing on there, it's like odds that there's another planet like us or another planet like, it could be anything, right? In your mind now, it goes infinite. It goes, anything you can imagine is there. All the grains of sand in all the beaches. There's more galaxies than that. But it's also completely void of everything. Like the space between it's like 1 light year is the distance that light travels in a year. It's 186,000 miles a second. So a full year is a distance that we cannot comprehend. That is the emptiness. That is an emptiness that you can't wrap your mind around, and is completely empty. It has no atmosphere. It has nothing. It is the absence of everything. So what does it do simultaneously? What is this generation lost in space with no time left to start again? I mean, it's in the songs. The devil can't. So we look up and we see complete emptiness. Like we are a speck. We are nothing. We are a ball spinning with no direction in a sea of emptiness that we can't possibly conceive of. Nothing is there. But simultaneously, anything you can possibly imagine is up there as well. And so to bridge that gap between science fiction and reality, which is what science attempts to do. Science is wrong more than fucking anything. Watch any movie from the 90s or anything where they're just referencing anything scientific. They were wrong about fucking everything.
I was a huge fan of Carl Sagan's first Cosmos, and I watched that series several times, and I was able to memorize many of the things that he said. And then 10 years later, I watched it again, and he had to take out things that he had said 10 years earlier because they were no longer true. So he was saying it as if it was fact at that point, and then 10 years later, the science was able to disprove those things.
So to bridge that, you had to put a human being up there. You had to blow people's fucking minds. You had to merge those two ideas, right? So you have the ultimate wizard spell: infinite emptiness, infinite possibilities, right? You put it in the same place people used to look at God with, right? You used to look at stuff yourself, like where you were. You looked at the moon to see, like, was it harvest moon? Like, are we planting right now? Like, how's the tides? It helped you orient yourself. And you focused on the earth and your family and your surroundings. And you, it gets, guys, I'm right about this. It's brilliant and evil. Okay, we're thinking about terraforming Mars. Just think, what does that do to a population? Okay, so people are now like, life on Mars. Okay, we skipped all over. The moon is, no one talks about the moon. By the way, the Mars is a red version of the moon. It's just as empty. There's no atmosphere. It's way farther. Way harder to get to, apparently. It's just red. And it's full of dust. And nothing's there at all. But yet now everyone's like, gotta get to Mars.
It's
right?
so ridiculous.
So people are like, okay, we can terraform Mars. We can alter the atmosphere. No one's doing that to fucking Greenland. No one does that to fucking Alberta. You know how much land on Earth? Earth is designed. Earth is perfect for human life. The amount of oxygen and carbon, all that. What are we saying? We are killing our Earth. We are killing it, and us being here is ruining our mother. Carbon emissions this will be uninhabitable, so we will have to go to Mars. If you think Earth, like, we could detonate all the fucking atomic bombs we've ever made, it would be a utopia compared to anything you could possibly do to Mars. Mars is hostile to all life. Mars, you can't take one breath without instant death. Mars is not capable of having any human life on it without, even theoretically, if it's even possible.
Okay, well, we know that
an unimaginable amount of technology and engineering to keep you as you're in this horror of a landscape. We're like, our temperature may go up. That's a dead end. Here, faster everywhere outside. So if you travel the speed of light for 2 years, according to Einstein, it might be conspiracy theories, but the rest of the world would age like 30 years, right? So how in the fuck would you possibly even go to our closest star that most likely has absolutely no planets that can possibly have life, right? We have a giant Earth, and we can do amazing things here, and it's designed for life. But yet we're already not looking at it. We're with it. We've ruined her. We've raped and murdered and sacrificed. And now when we look up, we don't see God in the heavens just saying, one day you'll get here, be a good person. You look down, you don't see hell, you don't see Jimmy Savile, all the people that fucked up that are now burning in hell. No, you see like the mental and the nickel core and the they took away our connection to everything. And they replaced it with nonsense. Infinite vastness and infinite possibilities, and none of it you can ever accomplish. That's the ultimate fucking psyop. It's like, it's perfect and evil as fuck. Just believe. Do you question science? Do you question science? How the fuck would you make Mars livable? Why haven't we tried to make the moon livable? And why don't we focus on the Earth that's unbelievably livable? We're just so enamored with these wizard priests that don't know shit about science. I know more about science offhand than some of these wizard priests. It's like, they'll just try and blow your mind with like things that you can't imagine. It's like, on Venus, the atmosphere is so dense that 2-mile-an-hour wind would knock you right off your feet because of all the density of the atmosphere. And it gets 400 degrees, and it's like, who gives a fuck? We're not going, we're not living there. It's impossible to go there. We can't get back to the fucking moon, apparently. We never went to the moon, guys. We never went to the moon. And there's a reason these lies exist. It's to keep people, to keep their eyes and that shit, that just fucking nonsense. Infinite emptiness, infinite nihilism. The amount of empty, just random, hopeless, black, coupled with anything you can imagine. How the fuck is that not a psyop? And then you couple that with the fact that all evidence says that we never went to the moon and that NASA just endlessly lies. It was started by an SS Nazi who was best friends with Walt Disney.
Werner von Braun.
They said they no longer have the technology. They erased all the tapes and no other countries ever went to the moon. How can you believe that? How can you live in a world where you aren't skeptical enough, or you're like so just, you just have to fucking fit in? Are you scared? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Everything isn't a lie. Yeah, we faked the fucking moon landing. So what? That's a real keyboard. This is a real fucking White Claw spritzer. It's freeing. It makes you realize that like that cognitive dissonance that people feel all the time and can't put their finger on it and just get angry at dumb shit.
That it's a cognitive dissonance you feel all the time, but you can't put your finger on it. This is the state people are in when they don't see any curvature, they don't feel any movement, but they're told they live on a spinning ball, and they're not aware of it. It keeps you off balance. It makes you easy to fool. It makes it easy to manipulate.
And it's like, just let it go. I don't know. I gotta go. Hit the like button. You guys know that this shit should be listened to.
Okay. Now let's move on. He started off there with the moon, like, and that's where I started. Like, it took me a long time to wrap my head around the fact that we never went to the moon. And then my question was why. So this is, you see Owen Benjamin slowly coming around to this.
This is the thing I want to ask the rounder people to explain to me.
That's you. Listen, you believe the Earth is round and spinning? Listen.
If the Earth is spinning at 700 miles an hour, 1,100 miles an hour, whatever, why isn't the air spinning? And before you answer real fast and say, oh, it's all relative, it's all the same shit, the higher you go in the air, the less atmosphere there is until there's almost no
It's
atmosphere.
in these books.
Like 40,000 feet up, there's almost no atmosphere. So where is the break? where you get away from the atmosphere in which it's no longer relative.
Don't pay attention to these texts that come up here.
This is a lot harder than I expected, proving that the Earth is round.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking weird. It is way, way, way harder. The jet stream's 100 miles an hour. You ever see 100-mile-per-hour winds? Oh yeah, 1,000 miles per hour ain't happening. Dude, I'm telling you, it's fucked up. So if the Earth is spinning 1,100 miles an hour, and the atmosphere somehow miraculously is attached to the Earth, is that what kind of friction is that? Sliding friction is when the molecules are touching. So sliding friction is moving it along, right? Fine.
When does the atmosphere
When you
stop?
go up enough, there's no more atmosphere. So you are now just like if you're in a hot air balloon that goes up 30,000 miles, there's no atmosphere. So if you, why isn't the Earth flying by? Stop talking about this? Now you're banned. Why don't you join Connington Bear? Get the fuck out of here. No one needs your shit. There's no wind because we're in a vacuum. We both know that doesn't make any sense. And I'm not a flat earth person. I want someone to fucking explain that to me. Atomic density, saying words don't explain it. Just saying atomic density. Friction. I just said that. There's several types of friction. That friction would be the sliding friction, where it's two objects touching each other, kind of like two boards. You have to go at a certain speed. If you go too fast, you slip, right? So if you go at the right speed, you carry the other board with you. We have molecules of the atmosphere. And if it's attached to our spinning shit, fine. You go up 40,000 feet, there's no atmosphere, none. It's basically a vacuum. So where do you pop out of that situation? The jet stream, that's 100 miles an hour, not 1,100. And when you're out of the atmosphere, when you're going west to east or east to west, I can't remember which way, why is the Earth not flying by underneath you? You're not in that anymore. So far, no one's been able to explain that to me, which is fucking weird. Please comment on it. I would love to stay a globe Earth person because being a flat Earth person is another level of ostracism that I really don't want at all. So please, for the love of God.
Hey, this is exactly how I felt from the very first flat earth video I watched. I'm like, already people won't talk to me because I say that there are reptiles living underground. And this was back in 2015. Already I'm losing friends because I'm a conspiracy theorist. Well, this is the one that really drove away a lot of people from me.
Someone fucking explain to me why the Earth's atmosphere, does the Earth not at that point appear to be going 1,100 miles an hour underneath you? Here's another one. Why do flights not go around the poles?
That's right.
Please explain this to me because I do not like where the logic is taking any of this. It's not fun. It's actually incredibly isolated. Chile, and I don't want it at all.
Australia.
The last thing I need in my life is to be given another label that makes me look insane. That sounds awful.
That's true.
Someone said not flat. Well, please fucking tell me how you can go up into near Earth orbit and stay still and the Earth is not flying by if it's spinning on a goddamn axis. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't explain it, can you?
Nope.
The fuck? Inertia, that doesn't mean a goddamn thing and we both know it.
Inertia.
Inertia. Don't think I know about inertia.
That's a word I learned in high school.
Owen is dumber than I thought, says Martin.
Banned.
Okay, Martin, you're no longer allowed to
Banned for life.
Grown-ups. Obviously not dumb. If I was dumb, 3,502 people wouldn't be watching me after 2 hours and 11 minutes of me just talking. Dumb people don't retain that amount of people. You're just a stupid person. The worst is like, I obviously understand physics. I got 790 out of 800 on my physics PSATs, right? It's like one question I got wrong. I understand physics very, very well not on a level of like MIT or anything like, but on a basic, way above average level, I understand the principles of physics. The Earth isn't flat. That's fucking insane. Why can no one explain to me how the globe is spinning at 1,100 miles an hour? And if you break the fucking atmosphere, even out of relative, whatever relative is, and you're flying in a direction opposed to the spinning, why don't you double your speed? Like if you drop, if you're going 1,100 miles an hour, why is it not 2,200 miles an hour if the Earth is going the opposite direction?
Like being on a conveyor
What
belt.
the fuck is that?
Like walking on a people
So
mover
far, I've got nothing on
in
it.
the airport.
No one can explain it. Okay, all the people saying that the Earth is round, there's no way they understand the particle density and radio theory. So when they say everyone's retarded who thinks the Earth is flat, they don't understand why they think the Earth is round, is my bottom line.
That's true.
They don't. So when people just go, oh, well, it's clearly just radio theory and fucking frequency and fucking particle. No, you don't know. You don't know. And you're trying to fucking hold on to something that you don't understand. And that's the problem I have. Is people with this condescending, shitty attitude, but they don't actually
Condescending. That's the shit that pisses me off. When I tell somebody the Earth is flat and they do a Google search and then pull up the very first item on the Google search and it says how science proved the Earth is a spinning ball, and you send that shit to me. You think I haven't seen that before in 7 years or whatever it's been since I've been studying this? You don't think I've looked at every single thing that mainstream science has to offer to prove the Earth is a spinning globe and it doesn't work?
know anything. And they go, oh, I mean, you're such a fucking idiot. Like, why would, then explain to me how you can go above the atmosphere and you do not see a spinning Earth. Explain to me how NASA shows us images of the Earth that are clouds are fucking duplicates of the other clouds in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Does that not ring any bells? And I'm incapable of going with lies. I'm fucking capable of it. The Earth isn't flat. There's no fucking way the Earth is flat. That would probably cause me some type of nervous breakdown if that were the case. So can someone, for the love of everything good, explain to me without nonsense talk like, oh, inertia. Oh, no, inertia. Do you know what inertia means? Do you understand the calculations of inertia? No, you fucking don't. It doesn't answer a goddamn thing just to say inertia. Why the fuck a spinning globe, when you're going against it, it doesn't fly underneath you? Coriolis effect proves the Earth isn't flat.
No, it doesn't.
I believe that as well. I really hope we have more than the Coriolis effect. Really hope we have more than that, guys. Really hope we have more than the Coriolis effect. If the Earth is flat, why lie about it being round? What is the point? I can tell you a lot of reasons.
This guy's smart, man.
If the Earth is flat, I may tap out of YouTube for a while. Like, that would fuck me up. But I am not enjoying the path that this is taking me on, because the arguments for the Earth being round are not very strong at all. Like, at all. And this is something I would never, ever, ever, ever question. Ever. And another thing is, when I questioned that the moon landing didn't happen, like, everybody was like, oh, in a month he'll think the Earth is flat. Oh, this retard's gonna think the Earth is flat. By the way, I'm not arguing that the fucking Earth is flat. I just want people to fucking explain to me
Yes, you are.
how it's
You just
round.
don't know it yet. That's why I
You
love
know
that.
what I went through before I believed the Earth was flat. It's hysterical and amazing. Can't get enough of your show. I'm not comfortable with any of this, and I'm not on board with the flat Earth thing at all. I'm just finding the arguments for round Earth to be, because I'm preparing to debate this Eric Dubai guy.
Debate.
And so I want my fucking
This guy.
arguments concrete. the arguments for round Earth are horrible.
Which he never did. He never did
How about
debate.
until the flat earthers can build their own rockets and take pictures? We don't stress over it. Well, NASA has been proven to be the biggest liars on the fucking planet. So,
Yep.
And they have, like a bunch of flat earth people have gotten balloons to go up 120,000 feet and they take pictures of a world with no curve.
Yep.
I'm not comfortable with any of it, neither are you,
120,000
but I'm just reporting the fucking facts. And don't get mad at me, man. Don't fucking blame the messenger, dude. I'm like in this thing to
Same
win
too.
it. And I'm not gonna fucking go in there half cocked and be like, dude, the earth is round. Just look at the fucking shit. It's not easy to prove, guys, because I don't do sophistry or wizardry in debates. I'm not gonna go in and shame someone or use tricks, rhetoric tricks. I want hard motherfucking evidence that the earth is round. And I've never been up there. Just someone give me a concrete, obvious fucking thing to let.
He's never been up there. You've never been up there. I've never been up there. Okay. So you have to trust NASA.
Let me win this fucking debate. Do your research then, Owen. Okay, now you're banned. You don't think I do research? You don't think I do this for what, 10, 12 hours a fucking day? I listen to shit while I'm doing fence work all day, and then I look it up in books. Here's how I would try to explain it. Since the earth is spinning, so is air attached to the surface of the planet. When you fly in the direction of the opposite of the spin, you are fighting at speed. Right. So if you're not in the air, right? And don't fucking get mad at me if this makes your head hurt. Just know that I'm not trying to fuck with you, okay? If the air is part of the spin and you get above the air, which is what flights do, why are you still subject to the subjective relative air movement of the spin of the earth? Let's say the air is cemented to the earth, which already is weird because if you spin a ball in water, the water doesn't stay with the ball, maybe a little bit, but not really. Let's say the air is completely with the spin of the earth.
You can sit.
You are now above the air.
Careful.
Why the fuck are you still subject to the relative spin of the earth? If you're going against the spin, why are you not going twice as fast?
Hey, Nina, is the earth a spinning ball? Is the earth a spinning ball? No, do you believe the earth is a spinning ball or is it flat?
Yeah.
Which one? Earth is flat?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's impossible, right? This is ridiculous, right? Yeah, she knows. Took me 2 hours to explain to her.
And don't just say you're a retard, you're a conspiracy. What the fuck? Do you guys seriously think that Ardian motion inertia means anything in this? Like, please look up the words you fucking use. That doesn't mean anything. Ardian motion inertia. What does that mean? If I had a gun to your fucking head and say, define what you just said, what does that mean? You would say, Owen, telescope. So all the planets and moons we see through a telescope are round, so Earth is the only planet in our solar system that's flat. Really? Okay, retard. Imagine they're all flat discs, right? Do we see spheres in the sky? Dude, I'm getting angry because everybody that's acting like I'm retarded has not any of their arguments. So if we see a bunch of circles in the sky, does that mean they're spheres or fucking dinner plates? You can't prove it.
Am I holding a ball or a disc?
You can't prove it. That isn't a fucking argument. And if you're just gonna hang me out to dry, like I'm gonna go argue somebody, and your whole argument is you look in the sky and you see circles, and that means something is a fucking speed. I'm getting angry at the concept that I can't win this debate. Dude, take a pill, way too much drama, bro. Well, you're now banned for life.
Good.
I've had 4 drinks. I just hung out with my wife. I'm having a great time. Also, how can you see trillions of miles away? It's all nonsense. All nonsense. Someone please explain it to me that isn't retarded. Some people are thinking usual force, that doesn't mean anything, and we both know that doesn't mean anything. How come when you look at a boat going out to sea and it vanishes at the viewer's convergence point, look through a pair of binoculars, you can see the boat again? the Earth it can't be flat. I mean, that would just be insane. I don't. Oh, Eric, I won't destroy you too bad. I'm gonna. That's why I'm fucking. Oh, Eric is actually here taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win, Eric. That's why I'm taking this seriously. I need my people to fucking give me some intel.
Yep.
It's all science fiction, not an argument. Space to vacuum, not an argument. Do you guys know what argument? Does anyone know what a fucking argument is? You're getting there, my friend. You're on the right track. I'm not getting into flat Earth cults. No, sorry, I'm not going to be disrespectful. That's sophistry. It's wizardry if I start mocking them for thinking something that I find ridiculous. Space is water. I don't know what that means. That's fucking insane. If you can take a variety of snapshots of another planet and see if it's rotating, that's one of the worst arguments I could possibly imagine. So it's like saying, does my dog have rabies? Well, I can see that dog that doesn't have rabies. This is a fucking nightmare. This is literally a nightmare trying to fucking disprove this thing. Well, if you look through your binoculars and see another dog without rabies, that means your dog doesn't have rabies. What in the fuck does that mean? You're in motion, keeps moving. Okay, Jason, if you are not in a medium that is moving, how does that apply? Let's say you see a river flying by you and you are in the air looking at the river because you're standing on the riverbank. Are you in motion because you can see a river in motion? Of course not. That's an insanely stupid argument. If the atmosphere is all moving with the Earth, flying around at 1,100 miles an hour, and you are out of the atmosphere, which happens in low Earth orbit or the average delta flight, how in the fuck are you still subject to being in that medium? That doesn't make any sense. Because you're moving when still first. That means absolutely nothing, and we both know it. Drag means nothing. Science can't prove the Earth moves. It literally can't, and this is fucking awful. If we hover over Earth, can we get to Australia faster? Guys, this is a nightmare. It's so fucking hard to prove. 1,100 miles per hour, but it still takes 24 hours to make one rotation. Well, I don't know. I haven't done the math on that. Really hope Owen can prove the Earth is round. Me too, Penny. Take an astronomy course at your local university. Now you're banned. I've obviously taken astronomy courses, and that's not an argument. Okay, another weird thing is that the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, but it's 400 times farther away, making it exactly the eclipse, same size. And they're both circles. Circle is not sphere. As it waxes and wanes, doesn't the moon's shadow at least point to it being sphere? And no, it does not. There's no way to do that. That's a two-dimensional image. There's going to be a lot of people just attacking me personally now. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a flat Earth person. The Earth is not flat. That's fucking psychotic. Is anyone else feeling a little nervous about this? Globe Earth, biggest line history. Good luck with your search, Owen. So this is how every person who discovers that the Earth is flat feels in the beginning. We all felt this. When I was watching this 3-4 years ago, I was watching it live. I could really understand what he was going through, and I could feel for him. That really your argument? That if you don't understand cancer, that proves the fucking Earth is round? Come on, man. There's 3,556 people here, and no one has a fucking argument that the Earth is round. Biologists and physicists are full of crap. Okay, you're now banned. Dupay will use some wizardry on you and gatekeep. Right, that's why I need truth. Truth beats all wizardry. Someone please give me some fucking science that proves the Earth is round. And this is not a flat Earth channel. 95% of the people here believe the Earth is round. Please, God, someone give me an argument. Who looks for truth in a YouTube chat? Well, not you anymore, Larry. By the way, the only people named Larry are pedophiles and mailmen. I can't argue for moon phases without the moon being a sphere. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, is this public education? You can't land a plane on a spinning globe.
Right.
God, this is a fucking nightmare. I can't be a flat earth person.
You hear that?
I mean, I can't be a flat earth person.
This is what every single one of you and me thinks when you first learn this stuff. You just can't be a flat earther. Just can't.
There's zero proof the Earth is famous. Dude, literally there's none. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up here because this is so fucking depressing. It's mind blowing. Open up Google Earth. This conversation will be a lot more simple when everyone can see the current model and scale. Earth, it's 3D globe. You can move around. So your answer is Google Earth. That's the proof. And you guys are fine with that proof. You're like, oh, that's cool. That's all I need. If I do Google Earth, everything makes sense. Is there no math? Is there no fucking math? You gotta be fucking kidding me. When you were a flat earth person and just figuring out, now I'm not a flat earth person. That's insane. Google Earth. That's the answer. Google. You fucking children.
Google, yeah. You believe Google.
The thing that's bothering me the most is how many people believe something that they've never thought about.
Right. Exactly.
That they don't, their arguments are literally like, well, look at Yahoo, idiot. I gotta go. This is fucking horrifying. Southern hemisphere constellations are different than northern. How can it be flat if what we see in the sky and the direction they move are different? Love you. I still believe the Earth is round, so I'm sure that's a great argument. Can we please think that won't have an answer? Like with the moon landing, there's so many mic drop arguments. How is that the only time in history that a country's went somewhere that other countries haven't followed? Why did technology go in reverse? How did they live feed from the moon with a 4-second delay when it's more than a 4-second delay right now on CNN across the country? There's a million examples. There's none of that here. And I don't feel comfortable getting my ass beaten in a fucking debate. Guys, I said I would debate this guy because I thought it was a no fucking brainer. When you're above the atmosphere, you're in orbit. You already had inertia from the rotation, and there's no longer air friction to slow you down, so you're orbiting around just like the moon is. That makes no sense, Dan. If you're going from west to east, let's say you're fighting the rotation, you're in, based on the your jets. So if you're going east to west, you have different inertia than west to east. Is that your argument? Is physics argument? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So if you're going west to east and you go same amount of gasoline and you have the same fucking inertia. So your argument is either that combustion rockets don't work in a vacuum because that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or you're wrong. Fuck.
Love it.
The Earth isn't flat. The Earth is not flat. This is fucking madness. The skyscraper on the coast, the sun will set on the base before the top. This would not happen with the sun hovering over a flat Earth, with a light bulb around a room, and watch the shadows. Once you leave the surface of the Earth, you still maintain the velocity you had while on the surface because of inertia. You don't fly off because of gravity. Okay, so let's say you're flying to the moon or Mars. You can't velocity after you leave Earth's gravitational field orbit. So the 17,000 miles an hour is the inertia they got from liftoff. You can't be fucking serious. These arguments work in your minds. So the 17,000 miles an hour that the NASA fucking dumb lie thing up there is going, do you think that they got that inertia from liftoff and that's all they could ever have? They couldn't get any more inertia for more rockets and more partying up there? Come on, dude. This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person. It's Earth's magnetic field Is that your new proof that the Earth is round? Guys, no one knows why the Earth is round. I'm in a theater of people right now. This is a massive theater, and no one knows the Earth is round. No one knows. People say just inertia, the difference between speed and velocity. You guys really think that proves that the Earth is fucking round? Again, Owen, compass works flat. Owen, nobody can explain it if it's not true. Good night, bro. This can't be reality. Anything that is NASA's a bunch of liars, granted, obviously, but just hear me out. This is Saturn's pole. What is that? One side, two side, three. It's a six-sided storm, guys. That's really weird. What storm have you ever seen that looks like that for eternity? Something like that for observable for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Like sided storm. That's fucking crazy. And there's people that are like, well, I mean some storms. No. CGI big bear? That's from NASA. All I'm saying, listen, whether or not that's real, I can't say because I don't know. That's from NASA. That's from NASA. That's from NASA. The Saturn, the pole of Saturn is a fucking hexagon. Hex. It's weird. Weird. People, and I get so suspicious of the people that are like, well, I mean, it's easy to explain. I mean, storms. No, there's no storm you've ever witnessed or can conceive of that operates like that. For a turn.
Nature doesn't create geometric patterns like that, just like the triangle that I saw in the sky the other day.
For hundreds of years, observably, no. Exit. It's also, guys, I mean, obviously, doesn't take a genius to fill in the blocks that that's the fucking Star of David.
It's also a cube.
You want to see, a lot of people don't get the vision.
You can also fit a cube into the hexagon like that.
Jewels in their head right away, I think. So, big into symbol. Symbols rule the world, and they do. Just look at just as I mean, it's right there. It's Star of David is.
I think this is the last one I'm going to share with you guys, and then I'm done. I'll let you go. Prove to me the Earth is a spinning globe 25,000 miles in circumference. I would love to be a globe believer again.
I'm very insular these days. I'm not into talking to strangers, but I am talking to Eric Dubé.
Good.
Next week. I'm curious to hear what he has to say. Some people are terrified of the flat earth shit. I'm not. I think it's fascinating. You know, the people that demonize flat earth and are like, flat earth people are retards. It's like, yeah, a pressurized ball spinning in an infinite vacuum.
It's pretty fucking stupid.
I mean, if you think that that's like, listen, that's probably true, maybe. My jury's still out. But like, a pressurized spinning ball of liquid in an infinite vacuum. By the way, you can never feel any movement.
And let me build on that too. Okay, so they say that the Earth isn't really a sphere. It's a bit of a oblate spheroid. That the rock of the Earth, the mantle of the Earth, bulges a little bit more at the equator and below the equator than it does at the top. Okay, that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Well, and that's because the Earth has been constantly spinning for millions and billions of years, right? So the Earth is slowly bulging out. Okay, well, if rock, which is a million times more solid, or is solid, more what's the word, or less elastic than water is, okay? Water, what happens to a ball of water? If you take a sponge and you soak it in water and you spin it, what happens? The water all flies out at the equator. So why is there any water at the poles? Why isn't all the water sloshed out to the equator? And not only that, as it goes around the sun, the far side from the sun, all the water should be pushed to that side from some centrifugal force, right? So as the Earth is going like this, the water should be all going to the far side. Anyways, it's just ridiculous.
If you're spinning 20,000 miles an hour, if there's just an adjust, like if you're driving 60 and you go to 59 or 61, you can feel it. But if you're spinning 20,000 miles an hour and it goes to 20,000 miles in 1 mile an hour, you should be able to feel like a slight move.
Okay, and here's another great point. Okay, the orbit of the Earth around the sun is not a perfect circle. It's oblique, or I can't think of the word, but it's not quite a circle. And because of that, as the Earth is approaching the sun and it goes around the sun, it speeds up and then slows down a little bit, just a little bit. You would feel that.
Like when you're in the teacups, you know, people are like, "Oh, you're an idiot." No. See, that doesn't work on me. That doesn't work on me. I'm a free thinker. You can't just call me an idiot and expect any response.
Yep.
It's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
You believe that, what you see on the screen right there, you believe that. Do you get that point there? Do you get that? Okay. If this is winter and you see certain stars in the winter sky, then when the Earth is on the other side and now you're looking out at this, like, you see the same fucking stars. How is that possible?
So trust your eyes and trust your experience. Trust your feeling, trust your intuition. Look out, see the horizon, flat. Feel for yourself. You're not moving. Just sit still. Just sit still for a second. You're not moving. You're not spinning around an axis at 1,000 miles per hour, rotating around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, spiraling around the galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour, and shooting off from a Big Bang at 67 million miles per hour. You're not.
Trust your senses.
You're just sitting there. Just sit still. What does that even mean, sit still? You think you could sit still with all those motions? Just feel like you're moving. Feel that?
Get that.
Same thing you've always felt.
This is the long distance photo record. Now, the guy who took this picture was not trying to prove the Earth was flat. He was he was a photographer, and he wanted to get the longest distance, 273 miles. Do you know how much curvature there would be between the camera
Nothing,
and those mountains?
ever. Nobody's ever felt movement.
That's the vanishing point right there.
Nobody's ever seen the earth move. Nobody's ever seen the earth curve. Maybe you just got fooled by some masons. Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled. That's why it's so hard to convince you you've been fooled.
These are the people who created the spinning globe, or
You can't possibly believe that you and the rest of the world could have been lied to and deceived by these masons. The oldest and largest secret society in the world, over 5 million members, all over the world, existed for hundreds of years.
you call yourself awake. Those of you who are watching this channel and you still believe that the earth is a globe, call yourself awake, but yet you still believe this part of their life. Why is that? Why do you have to believe in this? Why is it so difficult for you to understand that you've been lied to?
But not you, right?
Not you.
They couldn't fool you. Of course you're spinning around. Of course you are. That's what they told you in school. They didn't lie to you in school.
They wouldn't lie to you at school, would they?
It's not okay to say that the earth is flat. This is
More importantly than this being a perfectly flat line, by the way, I showed this to somebody a long time ago. It was on my phone. I was in Laos, and there were a bunch of tourists and expats sitting around, and I came out for the first time in public, in person, and told these people the earth was flat. And of course I got jumped on. And I pulled out this picture on my phone and I showed it. I said, look at this. This is an amateur balloonist who put up a balloon 100,000 feet into the air, and he got this picture. This isn't from NASA. This isn't from an institution, a university. This is just a guy with a balloon and a camera. And I showed it to this guy, and he said, "Oh, I can see some curvature there." I said, "Are you shitting me? You really?" I said, "Give me your cigarette pack." He had a pack of cigarettes that were in the carton. And then I held that up to this line, and it showed that it was perfectly flat. But he thought he could see curvature. But that's not even the most important thing here. The important thing is that the horizon is equal to eye level, or in this case, camera level. Okay. If the earth were a ball and you went up to 100,000 feet, granted, that would be a tiny, less than like the width of a piece of paper. Okay. That's about how high 100,000 feet would be, something like that. So it's very small. But the horizon would go down from your point of view. Okay. You're here, you're looking this way. The horizon would have to be going down. So this picture here, you're looking out at the horizon. It would have to be down here somewhere, or even down here at 100,000 feet. If you're in an airplane, I think it would be very tiny, but somewhere maybe around here. Not next time you're in an airplane at 35,000 feet, point to the horizon and then draw a line to your eyes. You're going to see it comes right to here, not to here, not to here, like it would be if it were on a globe.
some sort of strange denial. I don't know where it comes from. And it's
No,
something where I
you
keep
gotta
getting
listen
this
to her.
question. We really need to put this question
She's
to
a-
bed,
she's a
because we've known that
physicist.
it's a sphere for a long time.
So don't question the belief.
I think the fuck is flat. I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's spinning for shit.
Good for you, Owen. Yeah. So so that's it. sorry if I upset you all for making you face the facts. And if you don't like it, unsubscribe. Okay. And if I've helped you look at things differently, then good. That's what I'm here for. By the way, I'm not trying to convince you of anything because I don't know that it's flat. It may not be flat. I've got other theories of what it could be. But it's not a spinning globe. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.